I don't know what it thinks it's doing. You can't make another one, dude. So I can't see. We're clear. Okay. Aggressive speeding up and just right around the. Oh, nice. It went around the water puddle. Good morning. I have to run to a facility on the other side of the state. It is 123 miles away from me right now, which means today's trip is going to be 246 miles because I have to go right back home. I'm not going to be able to do anything else today. I don't think it likes that trailer. But kudos to that guy for doing a U-turn in a really tiny roundabout. I'm impressed. I have to run out there, basically flip a switch, and then come back. Yeah. So that's today. Yesterday, I got the 12.5.4 update, which is going to be, this is going to be the first test drive with it. The car is telling me that I don't have enough juice to make it out there and back. It's going to want to route me to a supercharger. I did the math, and I think that I'll be fine. I should get home with about 16%. We'll see. I also have the new update that allows you wear sunglasses while full self-driving is on, so we'll test that out and see how well that works. It is an overcast, cloudy day. Maybe we'll get lucky. I did get breakfast, so I'm going to eat that. So it seems like when we go from a slower speed zone to a faster speed zone, we just went from 35 to 45. The car still will not speed up on its own. Gonna have to get over. Wow. I don't know what it thinks it's doing. You can't make another one, dude. All right. Autopilot was trying to force itself in when the construction zone was starting. So eyeglasses or eye tracking without sunglasses is working just the way it used to. I looked away for too long and it said, please pay attention to the road. So let's talk about this charging thing. It wants me to charge down here somewhere after I make this trip. So it wants me to come back through the highway. It's not so much fun. It adds about 30 miles to the trip. It's faster because it's at highway speeds, but it's also way longer. If I go out this way, the highlighted way, and then come back the same way, I should be okay to get home at about 15%. I don't know if I mentioned, but I left this morning at 82%. So I'm going to get out there, and then I'm going to try to force it back along the same route and see if that charging needed to reach destination goes away, as I think it should, because if I come back along that route, there's no superchargers that way. So we'll see what happens. So I've got like 4 miles to go. Sun's peeking out. Got my sunglasses. I'm going to put them on. Green dot is staying. It's beautiful. So I'm looking forward right now like I'm supposed to. It's not complaining. There is a cop right there. We're going to slow down and get over. Act like that didn't happen. So I am looking out my side view mirror, and I've been looking out my side view mirror just to make sure that cop doesn't come out and get me, and he's not, so that's good. Back up to 85. So now my head is straight forward as if I'm looking out the front window, but I'm staring at the car on the screen right there. feel like I would have gotten a warning message by now. I'm still looking at the screen, using my peripheral vision to make sure I stay in the road. I'm still looking at the screen. That's crazy. I'm okay with it, though, because there's some times where I need to look at the screen for a lot longer than the car will like me to. So I love this now. If this is the way it's going to be, I'll wear sunglasses at night. All right. Almost half an hour or half a mile to go. We'll probably try to squeeze in between this semi and this truck. As predicted. So the rest of this is going to be back roads. It'll be 55, and then we'll hit some towns. It'll drop me down to 35, 25. That it's going to be that way for 100 miles, and I will turn around and come back the same exact route. It claims I'll be there at 49%. Now, if we do 82 minus 49, that's 33% is what it's going to take me to get out there. 49 minus 33, that's 16. So yeah, I should be okay going this route and coming back this route. All right. So now I'm going to turn my head and look straight as if I'm driving. But my head is going to be turned as if I'm looking out of the passenger side window. Head still turned. Eyes are still looking straight. I am going slower than I need to be. Yeah, doesn't seem to care at all. It's got a red light coming up. Doesn't care that I'm looking sideways. I am looking out the front window, but it can't see my eyes. At least I assume so. So now I have my eyes narrowed. I've got my right eye completely shut. My left eye is narrowed just enough that I can still see. But if anyone else was looking at me, they'd probably assume that my eye was closed. Doing 59, though. That's impressive. It's not hollering at me. I don't see any blue flashes. Yeah. Sunglasses for the win. Yeah, so many times I looked at the speed without the sunglasses on to get me up to the speed that I wanted to go, and it would be flashing, yelling, pay attention to the road. This is a drastic improvement. Now the question is there a certain number of miles where it's going to say, hey, torque the wheel, or what does it say, apply slight turning force to the wheel? Is it going to do that just to make sure? Because I don't think it can see my eyes. And if it can see my eyes, it definitely doesn't care the way that it could when I wasn't wearing sunglasses. Yeah, this is great. I'm just looking around all over the place. Car does not give a single chainsaw. There it goes. So I was looking out the passenger window. My head was turned. My eyes were out there. I think when I was... Nope, it couldn't. Maybe when I was at that angle, it could see my eyes from the side, the left side of the sunglasses, perhaps. But I got it to do something. So maybe it's just not as strict when you're wearing the sunglasses. Maybe it's because it was overcast and it really couldn't really see my eyes. This is bright-ish. Staring at the screen, staring at the screen, staring at the screen. No, doesn't care there. Still staring at the screen. Nothing's happening. Still staring at the screen. Yeah, it doesn't seem to care. I wish they would have addressed the speed issue, though. Or at least explain to us why the car slows down on its own like that. So I'm looking in the rear view, looking in the rear view, looking in the rear view. There was a car that was trying to pass everybody. Could have made it if they committed to stepping on their gas. But now they're right behind me. Right on my bum bum. If she gets any closer to my cheeks, I'm going to ask her to take me to dinner. All right. We're doing 39 and a 40. It's going to be 55. 40. I'll see if it'll speed me up. That car back there is kind of back there. 42, 43. Is 43 the fastest you want to go? 44. Car behind me is pretty much doing the same thing. 45, 46, 47. All right. We got the message. Ish. All right. Car behind me is coming up, so off we go. Caught me again. So if I'm just looking out of the side windows, then it'll yell at me. But I can look anywhere with my eyes. It's my head that it's tracking. Yeah, it's definitely the head. So I was looking out of the driver's side mirror. My head was pointing out the driver's side mirror, but I was looking at the road. And it told me to pay attention. So it's head tracking, not eye tracking. Nicely went around those people who were standing at their driver's side window just chatting in the road. The car went around, gave him plenty of space. Does it take more energy to stay at 65 than pushing it from 58 to 65 every 3 miles? I'm going to do the test. When that says 30 miles to Oakley Road, I'm going to push it forward again. 30 miles. So that was too much, but whatever. So I'm now at 67. I'm going to see when it's back down to 60. So 1 mile, it was 3. You lost 3 miles per hour in 1 mile. So that should say 28 when we're back down to 60. Is that what we're going to go with? If we're consistent. Well, we hit 60. $59. So it's not consistent. $58. 28. All right. So we dropped 9 miles an hour in 2 miles. Yeesh. So it slows down 4.5 miles per hour every mile that it drives. is that more fuel efficient or energy efficient than just keeping pace at, say, 64, 65? Because now I have to push it forward, which uses more energy. I don't know these things. It's a great question for Elon. Yeah, without the sunglasses, I wouldn't have been able to fill up this water bottle without the car screaming at me, "Hey, look at the road, pay attention to the road." Did it really drop down to 45? Must have been while I was pouring the water. I missed that. But that goes to prove the point. It dropped down to 45, and it was still going 58. I mean, be consistent. Why is it over 55? The car will not do the speed limit. Under 55, the car will speed like a race demon, like it's possessed by Christine, but old Christine that has like a walking cane. Actually, Smart Summon. That's what's changed. FSD 1254. It's the same thing as it's always said, except now you can do vision-based attention monitoring with sunglasses. So the driving itself hasn't changed. I'm not surprised because it's acting the exact same way as it's always acting. Version 12 upgrades the city streets driving stack to a single end-to-end neural network trained on millions of video clips, replacing over 300,000 lines of explicit C++ code. That's what it's always said. Live One powered by Slacker Radio. The streaming app has been changed to Live One. To access, tap the Live One icon in the application launcher. Requires premium connectivity or a Wi-Fi connection. So now it's claiming I'm going to get there at 48%, which 82 minus 48 is 34. 48 minus 34 is 14. I still have enough juice to take this same route back and not go on the highway to hit the supercharger. Just for grins, I think this is 100 miles, 101 miles since I got off of the highway back there and got on this back road. If I had let the car do what the car wanted to do, it probably would have settled down at 51 miles an hour. I want to push it to 65. So that's the speed that I would like to drive. The car wants to go 51. That's 14 miles an hour different. I've been driving for an hour and 47 minutes since I left the house. I still have another 47 minutes, so that's 2.5 hours. So if you take that 14, multiply it by 2, and then add by another 7. So 28, 14 times 2 is 28, plus 7 is 35. 35-mile difference. If I was going at 51 where the car wanted me to be versus the 65 where I want to be. Now, granted, there's slowdowns and construction zones and speed changes, all of that stuff, not taking that into account. But that's just saying 35-mile difference versus where I want to be and where the car wants to be. That is a huge time sink. I have 39 miles left on my trip here, and it says it's going to take me 46 minutes. That is a huge difference in time. So I guess if we did the math correctly, that would probably be around 40 minutes, 42 minutes. That's some people's round trip commute to work. That's just nuts. So there's 35 miles. It says it'll take me 43 minutes to get there. 35 miles at 65 miles an hour. Yeah, that's about right. I see some videos defending full self-driving going a little bit slower because doesn't make that big of a time difference. But when you're on these longer trips like I take for my job, it does make a huge difference. And that's the guessometer from this car. It's like, is that based on the current speed that I'm going, the average speed that I've been going, what Google's guess says the average car following this route is going to take that amount of time? I don't know. But if you do the math, you get about the same number. Okay, we have looks like four-way stop with blinking red lights. Hanging above the road and on the stop signs, there's blinking red lights. How is the car going to handle this? It stopped. It's our turn. It went. No problems. Nice. All right. Cross traffic does not stop. There's a garbage truck with cones out. See how the car handles all of this. So I can't see. We're clear. Okay. Aggressive speeding up and just right around the garbage truck. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So even at the slower speed at 45, now it was doing the same thing. It started out at 49. It ended at the stop sign there at 46. At 48 now. I like that it on this road. I like that it thinks that it's 45, and it's slowed down to 40, because this is one bumpy road. Oh, nice! It went around the water puddle. I like that. See this? It thinks it's 35, but it's going 52. It won't even do 52 when it's 55. And it's pegged at 52 as well. It's not slowing down. It says, I want to go 52. I'm going 52. Which I don't get. Okay, so that drive on 12.5.4 was a lot like 12.5.3.1. It's the version I had before. Being able to wear the sunglasses and not being nagged so much was amazing. It was great. The turning right, it seemed like it's now gotten wonky on the right-hand turns. The speed is still an issue. I can't say that anything else was improved. Anyway, I'm going to run in here. I hope I'm only in there for 10 minutes, and then I'm going right back home. See you in a sec. So it took about 40 minutes in there. Meh. A little bit longer than I expected. Let's remove all charging stops. I'm at 47%. If I go this way, it says I'll get home at 10%. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. I tried to smart summon the car to me, and it got scared. It actually thought that I lost connectivity. And there were cars all over the place. One coming in, two trying to leave, so I had to run like an idiot and get my car. I'll do some testing later when connection is better. I think I understand what happened. I was on the facility's Wi-Fi, and then I walked out too far, so I lost my connection. So the car got scared, stopped. It's understandable. I actually had to start it twice. The first time, a lady was walking to her car, and the car got scared and stopped, and then she stopped, and they were both just staring at each other, and then she was like, well, there's nobody in there, and she just walked around it. It was funny. It was really funny. Um, I'll find a parking spot. Actually, I'm going to edit this video, and then I'll find a parking spot, and I'll do some ass testing. I will say, ass pulled backed out of that spot very well. There was a van behind it. It picking up laundry or something. It backed up and then pulled forward just fine. I wasn't afraid that it was going to hit anything. It was just a connectivity issue. So if you're going to use it, make sure that you're not jumping between a Wi-Fi hotspot and like cellular connection. It found my phone in my hand. That's awesome. I'm applying seriously. Well, that's good to know. So I'll put that back down. It's going to give it back to me. It's actually illegal here in Michigan to... Attention monitoring came back. All right, good deal. It's illegal here in Michigan to touch your phone while you're driving. So I should not have done that. So if I'm interacting with the screen, it also wants me to apply force to the wheel. I like that. All right, I changed it to a supercharger because I want to charge the car. But back in my neighborhood, I don't want to stop somewhere crazy. So I'm going to go to a supercharger and charge it and then just go home. So I'll be ready for tomorrow. I only have a level 1 at home. They said it would cost me $7,000 to upgrade it. Oh, here we go. Attention monitoring active again. All right. So there must have been a message that said attention monitoring was not active, and I was too busy playing with the screen, and I missed it. I left this morning at 82%. I got to the facility at 47%. It took me 35% to get from my house to that facility. That was with a stop for breakfast, which really didn't eat that much of the battery. So let's just say it was 35% to get from my house to that facility. It's going to take another 35% to get back. So that would have been a 70% usage of the battery. So 82 minus 70 is 12. It says I'll get there at 10%. I should be completely fine doing this. I have used 206 watt hours per mile so far, which is basically 5 miles per kilowatt hour. I've consumed 38.1% of the battery, which is 1.7% less than it expected me to use. That couldn't be because I was going the back roads instead of the highway. The highway was like 30 miles longer, and it was also faster, which would have eaten up all kinds of crazy energy, which is why I chose this route, so I didn't have to stop and charge. I still don't have to stop and charge. I can plug it at home, but I'm going to because I've got free supercharging, so why not? It's not your turn. It's not your turn. Oh, rude. But you did it. It is freaking out about this light. It thinks it's yellow. It's red. It was blinking. And the wheels underneath it, it thinks it's a car there. It keeps flashing a car. There it is. Detected device at hand. Wasn't a device. But I'll give it to him. So in total, I drove 246 miles. I used 53 kilowatt hours, 216 watt hours per mile. That's about 4.75 of a mile per kilowatt hour. That's not too shabby. I clicked over 6,000 miles on this car. It's just under 2 months old. That's fantastic. Let's see here. Car said I used 0.6% more than what was expected, estimated, whatever you want to call it. Staying below 70 would have saved me 1.8% since the last charge. Going uphill cost me 3.5%, and going downhill saved me 5.5%. So not too bad. If the car had favored back roads, maybe that's a setting that I have. I'll check that out. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to charge now.